Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the anti-invasion defences in the Nantlle Valley in North Wales. So this is North Wales here. You got the Llyn Peninsula, which we'll be talking about. We've got Anglesey here and this Mon. Over this way you got Denbighshire, and then Merionethshire down here, then this is Carnarvonshire. Well, it's Gwynedd now. So if we go down here, this is Snowdonia National Park, goes all the way down here. And the defences along here come under Western Command Stop Line number 23. So Western Command Stop Line number 23 started at Porthmadog. It snaked its way up the Aberglaslyn Pass towards Beddgelert, and it then went up towards Penygorid, Capel-Curig, and then it went down the Ogwen Valley and the Nantlle Valley, Nantlle Valley, Ogwen Valley, same thing, through Bethesda and ended in Bangor. And the defences here, well, let me clarify, the stop line sort of looks like that on a map, but what it means is that along this defensive line they're supposed to build nodal points or anti-tank islands. So defensive nodal points or strong points in strategic locations. So the defensive line makes its way up Porthmadog, Beddgelert, Penygorid, Capel-Curig, down the Nantlle Valley, Bethesda, Bangor, but you've also got these anti-invasion defences in the Llanberis Pass here, Betws-Garmon, Rhydd, and then this one which we're talking about today, the Nantlle Valley. Western Command Stop Line number 21 went up from Conwy all the way up here to Betws-Coed, and then up here through the Lledr Valley, through Dolwyddelan, and then up through Blaenau and ended in Harlech. So that was the second stop line in this area. But today we're going to be focusing on the Nantlle Valley. So the Home Guard in this area, responsible for these anti-invasion defences in the Nantlle Valley area, came under 3rd Carnarvonshire Battalion. The Home Guard in this particular area came under D Company, and D Company headquarters was in the drill hall in Penygroes. So you had the Penygroes platoon. To my knowledge, I'm not too sure. I'm not that knowledgeable on 3rd Carnarvonshire Battalion yet. I only know bits and pieces. But there was a platoon in Penygroes, Taliesin, Nantlle, Llanllyfni, and I think, what was the other one? I think Rhydd as well. Yeah, I'll do a video correcting this down the line, but today we're just focusing on the defences. But that was the general, amount of Home Guard that were in the area, to my knowledge. So the first set of defences, to my knowledge, was this one. Now this is the Gwernor Quarry roadblock, which consisted of several hairpin anti-tank obstacles, bent steel joist RSJ obstacles, concrete anti-tank cylinders, so large, medium and small types, mine wire ropes and trip wire ropes. You also had Mark IV anti-tank mines, as well. So, when I'm talking about roadblocks in the North Wales area, I want you to visualise this photo. This is the Pont Penrhyn main road roadblock on Llandegai Road in Bangor, taken I think in 1940, and it shows the roadblock in its place. You got the sockets in the road here. You got some of the concrete anti-tank cylinders visible in the background as well. Just up this way to the left of this photo is the entrance to Port Penrhyn, and then right here, this little driveway here, is the Tannerbryn Lodge on Llandegai Road, so it gives you an idea of exactly where it is. And when I'm talking about hairpins, bent steel joists, this is what we have. So, a hairpin anti-tank obstacle is this. It's a narrow gauge track bent in the shape of a hairpin. Now, in other areas across the country, people call the RSJ obstacle hairpins. But in North Wales, from my research, a hairpin anti-tank obstacle is a hairpin shaped anti-tank obstacle, either using a narrow gauge railway track or a mainline railway track. So a bull nosed or a bullhead track or a flat bottom track. This is the bullhead or bull nosed rail. This here is a large bent steel joist. It's an 8x4 rolled steel joist, cut and bent at 45 degrees and then welded. You can see, well, in some photos of hairpins, you can see the weld seam coming down this way. So that's a large bent steel joist, and this is a small bent steel joist. The white dots you can see on the bent steel joist obstacles here, they're for the blackout. So in some areas you just have white stripes, but in this photo you have white spots. And then here in the background you just got large and medium concrete anti-tank cylinders. So when I'm talking about roadblocks, this is what I want you to visualise. So when I'm talking about the roadblocks in this video, I want you to visualise that that's what they would have looked like. So the Gwernor Quarry roadblock, it would have had about 3 or 4 of these obstacles, and then several of these bent steel joist obstacles. In other areas of Snowdonia, so really narrow mountain roads, they would have had 1 or 2 hairpins with a couple of these bent steel joists. So it didn't exactly look like this. There was a different amount of obstacles per roadblock depending on the road. So that's what a roadblock looks like in the North Wales area. So I'm not too sure exactly where this roadblock was, but I've put my pin here because 1, that's Gwernor Quarry, and 2, it's by this house which overlooks towards here. So when it comes to roadblocks and the home guard, every roadblock and ambush point, well, every roadblock is supposed to have overwatch. So you're supposed to defend that roadblock, you're supposed to have a couple of men with anti-tank rifles, machine guns, spigot mortars, and you're supposed to delay, not stop, delay the enemy for as long as possible. So they would have used probably some defensive positions in the quarry. I haven't found any yet. And the house would have been loopholed and defended as well. There's quite a few pamphlets on the Home Guard detailing how to do this, how to fortify a house, so that would have been used. So that's why I've put my pin here. So that's the Gwernor Quarry roadblock. So the Germans would have been stopped here, so then where else can they go if they're trying to make it their way up the valley? Well, they can't go up this way because that takes them back, so the next roads would have been through Talasarn and up this little road here through the Dorothea Quarry. And there are some roads and tracks you can get to Nantlle, and there's a lot of ruins and defensive positions that could have been used in this area. I actually went for a walk here quite recently, so basically the idea being that once they're stopped on the main road, once that main road is blocked, they're supposed to be funneled through areas like this where they can be well, where the area is favourable to the defender. Through Nantlle itself there's not much or nothing to my knowledge, and then we get to another roadblock here, and this is the Lower Copper Mine roadblock. I think it should be, yeah, Lower Copper Mine roadblock, possible location. So the converted map references for these roadblocks are sometimes they put them in the middle of the ocean and nowhere near the area, so it's sort of guesswork. But I've put it here because it's, well, one, it's a bridge, and two, you've got this river here which is a natural anti-tank obstacle. So that's one roadblock here, and it gets interesting in the village of Drosecoid, and this pin represents well, this pin means that there was a pillbox / Home Guard shelter and a parapet wall in this area. I'm not exactly sure where it was, but that's just a general pin. That was the map reference given for this area. So there was some sort of Home Guard shelter / pillbox, so probably a loopholed structure, and a parapet wall in Drosecoid itself. Over here you've got the Upper Copper Mine roadblock, which was overlooked by an infantry post, Sangar, and you've also got the farm buildings, dry stone walls and old copper mine ruins that could have been used by the Home Guard to defend this particular roadblock. And this is where it gets interesting, because I can show you in 3D then how effective this area was for the defender. And remember, you've only got this main road here, so if the German tanks are stopped at these roadblocks, the only other way you can go is, well, through the farm itself, and you can make your way up here, but again you're exposed and you've got high ground up here, which, you know, a tank could have been ambushed, and there's plenty of walls and areas here where you could have knocked out a tank. Then we get to a very interesting defensive point. You've got a infantry post, Sangar, here. This, I think, you have some loopholed positions. I haven't confirmed that yet. It was just a glance when I was looking at a spigot mortar emplacement here. You can see it here, so if you can see my cursor, you've got the pit wall here, and then you've got the spigot mortar pedestal right there. So this spigot mortar emplacement covered the road. You've got buildings, dry stone walls, rocks, boulders to hide behind. You've got this building here, which I think is loopholed, and that would have stored the ammunition for the spigot mortar. Yeah, so infantry post, dry stone, possible loopholed wall, spigot mortar emplacement, building. You've got a sangar here, infantry post, right here, which protected the spigot mortar emplacement. We then make our way up and we get to the really interesting part. So, infantry post here, 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 and there, covering the dam. Anti-tank blocks built out of local stone. The Bulch-Gilvin roadblock here. A possible remains of a anti-tank wing wall, so basically another dry stone wall here protruding out the side to make the road narrow. Again, that's part of the roadblock. And then over here, another spigot mortar emplacement. You can just see it there. There's the pedestal, and then there's the semicircular pit. And over here you've got another infantry post. The barbed wire entanglement, judging from the discovery of several screw pickets, mainly the tall screw pickets, the one with 4 loops, and then the anchor picket, the one with just 1 loop to hold the wire entanglement in its place. I found quite a lot going along here, and so going off that information, I think it followed this dry stone wall here. For those of you who do know about fortifications and barbed wire entanglements, if you're putting up a barbed wire entanglement, you don't put it across, you sort of use walls, hedges, rivers as a guide so that it's blended in to the landscape, and so it's not visible from the air. So I'll just show you from the bottom here, from the upper copper mine roadblock here. We'll just turn and I'll show you. There you go. That's what the enemy would have seen advancing up that road. So as you can see here, the stone walls and the old structures of the copper mine favour the defender considerably. There's plenty of firing spots, ambush points, so it would have been a very effective way to defend. Over here, this big mountain in the background, that's Snowdon, that's already. We'll go up a bit more. This is a good view. If I go back just a little bit, there we go. So we've got the spigot mortar emplacement roughly about there. You've got the possible defender building here. Over here you've got the anti-tank blocks. The roadblock would have been here, and then you've got infantry posts dotted across the place, and then there's the second spigot mortar emplacement, and then another infantry post which covers the centre of the valley, and you can just see how steep it is. And again, the defender has the high ground and has a great view down the Nantlle Valley, as you can see here. So in this video I have 2 videos from the ground to show you. So the first one is going to be me at this spigot mortar emplacement here, just showing you where it is, what it looks like, and just a general view from the ground. And then the second video is showing the anti-tank blocks and where the Bulch-Gilvin roadblock was. And at the time of recording the video here, I did spot part of a wing wall here, which I just spotted, so that's something I looked into after the recording. But that's what I've been showing here. So I'm going to show you the spigot mortar emplacement here now, so bear with me. So this is an unrecorded and newly discovered spigot mortar emplacement in the Nantlle Valley. Down there you have Dorsacoid, which had some sort of pillbox or home guard shelter and a parapet wall, and 3 or 2 roadblocks. Over here you have the anti-tank blocks and the Bulch Gilvin roadblock. Some infantry posts. Where are they? There's one. Up here you have some sangars as well. But here there's a newly discovered spigot mortar emplacement. So what they did, you can see the frame. They would have parked over there with a lorry. They would have rolled this metal frame to its place along with some cement mixer, etc. Would have made a position for it, so a pit with a dry stone wall for revetment of sorts, and then they would have put some corrugated metal around it, and they would have poured the concrete. There's the pintle, that's where the mortar would have sat on top. And that's where it was going to aim down. So it would have had a range to about there, and if you can see that tree right by the wall, by the road, that little tree right there, there's another spigot mortar emplacement there in a similar pit. And then I'm not too sure yet, but I think the barbed wire entanglement went along here, and I think that might be a loopholed position or loopholed wall. I'm not too sure yet, there's a lot to figure out. But yeah, very special. The ammunition, don't know if the building was intact back then, maybe not. But yeah, sadly it's not in a good state. Obviously the concrete's coming off, it's been up here for 80 odd years. Snowdon's behind Bulch Gilvin over here. But yeah, spigot mortar emplacement. Here would have been the bulk Gilvin roadblock, which had several hairpin anti-tank obstacles and bent steel joists and some cylinders, anti-tank mines, etc. Just visited the spigot mortar, the new one, and it's covered by some infantry posts. There's another one up there, so that could be something. Maybe that's the remains of another anti-tank block. Just noticed that now. Maybe there would have been another one here. It's either that or it's a retaining wall, but it's close. There must have been something on this side of the road. That's probably a wing wall. Just noticed that. Obviously it's been tarmacked over since the end of the war, but so when I'm talking about a wing wall, this is what I mean. So these are the sockets for hairpin obstacles in the middle of the road. This is the side of the road here. So I want you to imagine on the left side here, those are the anti-tank blocks in the video you just saw, and then you have the roadblock in the middle of the road, and then you have this side here. The wing wall is just an anti-tank block coming out the side, or an anti-tank wall coming out the side of the road to narrow the road further. So that's what I think those ruins were. So when I'm mentioning wing walls, this is what I mean. So that was the end of the video, or this is the end of the video. I hope you found it interesting. I just recently came back from this location and just thought about doing a video on it, so here we go. I hope you found it interesting. Next video includes bits of kit and the rifle, I hope. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.